to Infinity Times Infinity Studios.
What's up, guys?
Oh, heads up. This is what happens.
Welcome to another Infinity Times Infinity Studios live stream.
Okay, this is what happens, you guys. You start doing stuff like turning on speakers. Okay.
Stuff starts
Let's do this
happening.
back. Stuff starts happening. You got to start clicking buttons, okay? Click that like button if you like these videos. We are diving deeper into the HEDD studio monitors. Type 07 Mark IIs, right?
You thought we couldn't, just when you thought we couldn't dive any deeper. Here we are.
Here we are.
Diving
We're jumping
deep
right
again.
in.
Once again.
Once again, okay?
Thrice, twice, thrice, quatrice again.
So we're up to part 4 here, you guys. So our fan base has said that we needed to play maybe vocals or what's going on here, Dan?
Well, there was an astute individual the last stream by the name of John Power on his nick anyway. Who knows what his actual name is, of course. John Power in all caps. So
Thanks,
a
John.
very powerful nickname. I like the power, the amount of power in that name is good. And John Power suggested that we use something with dynamic range and something acoustic and something with vocal.
Okay, so what we have for you today is I have an account to Artlist, which is royalty-free music tracks, and what we're gonna do is we've sat down and picked out a couple of different tracks that you guys will like, different types of dynamic range, his and her voices, things as this, such, right, Dan?
Yeah. All those words, maybe in a different order slightly. I'm not sure.
Upside down, inside out.
Left to right, right to left, whatever. If you're Asian or Oriental, as some insensitive people might say.
No, go that way.
Then,
right.
You might read up to down, right to left. If you're a part of some Asian cultures, which we respect all of
Filipinos
course,
do not read up and down. Okay.
No. Or at all, really. Boom, boom. Hey.
I can't speak for all of the Philippines, okay? I don't read that much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Billy never learned to read. It's okay, though. We don't need reading here in Infinity Times Infinity Studios.
Right.
We have pictures and pictograms and sounds.
This way we can
videos.
Just show you guys what we're doing here.
Yeah, it's show and tell. It's not no reading times, all right?
Yeah.
Y'all know the best time in kindergarten was show and tell.
Exactly.
It wasn't reading.
I mean, nobody actually went to reading class, right?
No one
we
even
all
likes
fell
reading,
asleep.
right? I mean...
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Are we good? Are we good with our YouTubes and Twitches out there?
Yeah, what's up to my Twitches? What's up to my YouTube? Let me see if we have any chat. I thought there was a way I could do chat overlaid on top of my full screen of us.
We're just trying to make
See,
sure that
Billy?
you guys are out there.
How do I put the chat where I can see it if it comes up right here? Is that a thing you can do with it full screen like that?
I don't know about on a tablet, so it's doable on
I have to keep it.
computer.
Oh, I probably have to put it in theater mode. I think. No, there's no theater mode when we're
there we
live
go.
streaming.
That should be the chat on the right.
It is, but I want this larger than that.
Yeah, so you can see. All right, so what we're doing here is we have a Samsung tablet that we're using to monitor.
Yeah, they've seen the monitoring before.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a tablet up there so that I can look at the 4 quadrants and make sure everything is looking like it's supposed to.
Right. I can see the chat from over here.
Yeah. We got a couple people on. They're not talking just as usual. So what's up to all y'all that's joining us again? Thank you for being back as a part of our live stream.
Thank you, guys.
So if you have been following along, you're probably familiar with what's going on with this, but like we said, we're responding to particular interest in some of the past streams about the HEDD monitors. So to review, we've got the closed system going, which means that there are port plugs installed in all 4 of the ports.
Right.
And a switch is switched on the back that engages a filter that keeps the problems from occurring that would have occurred if you plug the ports normally in a bass reflex system,
Right.
which would mean you could most likely blow the speakers
Yeah.
because they're built to hit hard and be able to reflex with air.
Right.
So without
these
the
have
air,
a switch. So
yeah,
make
the
sure
switch
you
makes
take
so that you don't blow your shit. So
Right.
we've got the switch engaged to not blow our shit. We've got a desk shelf filter engaged. So since the beginning of this, we just unconfigured, went in blindly and did them default style. And since then we've been tweaking a little bit, and now we've got the plugs on and a desk filter. Other than that, there's no other EQ happening.
No.
But the other thing that we want to talk about this week is that there is room correction software running now. The IK Multimedia company that we've been talking about because of the iLoud MTMs also makes software, and some pretty cool software actually. The T-Racks is kind of a virtual effects rack that they make, and then they have also a bunch of synths and stuff that are pretty legit actually. And in addition to all that stuff, they have this room correction software, ARC, which I think maybe stands for automatic room correction or something like that. But it's their version of the same sort of stuff that some of your other room correction softwares like SonarWorks and the Tradeoff boxes, they all do the same stuff, which is to linearize both in phase and frequency response your speakers in your listening position. So what we've done is to run a series of tests with a measurement microphone in 27 different positions, each of 9 spots in 3 different levels, one at your ear level, 1 6 inches above and 1 6 inches below. So that basically the space around your head is what we're measuring with the microphone.
Right. So that many mic positions, right? That's crazy. Like, how long did it take for you to actually do all that?
Yeah, they say it takes 8 minutes. It does not. It took me a little bit longer, probably because I wanted to be very precise about when I was going from the one that's supposed to be right where the chair is to the ones outside on either edge of the chair. And for the one in the chair, I used the chair along with a shorter microphone stand.
Right.
And then the ones around the edge, I used a taller microphone stand. And since each of the MTMs comes with a measurement microphone, I had 2 mic clips.
Oh.
So I installed the other mic clip on the other mic stand.
Right.
So that I could just switch the microphone
Mics
to the other
forth,
stand
right.
after position 1 in each of the 3 levels.
Right. Okay.
And then I did that for 2 sets of monitors. So 27 times 2 is 54 positions.
That's a lot of positions
for each of you folks.
I mean,
so
we shoot a lot of positions here at Infinity Times Infinity
Yeah, this
Studios.
is a different kind of studio you weren't aware of. It's, you know what kind of studio,
You know what we're talking about? Okay.
Yeah, like
so this software is called the ARC software, ARC 3 software. Is that what you're?
Yep. It's ARC 3. It's ARC version 3, right?
Okay.
Because there was a 2, and I think there was a 2.5, and each of those were met with some critical kind of reviews. But this ARC 3 is a little bit more extensive and is maybe more reliable, given that the MEMS style microphone that you use they're all so close to the average spec that there's going to be a lot tighter tolerances with in terms of what variability might exist in your measurement tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically,
yeah. Once I put these glasses on, I get even nerdier, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be so much big words coming out of my mouth that feels just like, whatever, man. Let's just go listen.
He goes deep into these subjects, and it's like, what is he talking about? But basically, it's software to measure what you're saying is phase and
the frequency response.
Response.
Yeah, how flat. You want your studio monitors to be flat. Well, when someone says they want their monitors flat, what that means is you don't want any extra amount of sound anywhere along the entire frequency spectrum. So you don't want extra bass in the bass range. You don't want extra mid-range in the middle or extra treble or less than it's supposed to be either on any of the areas of the whole frequency spectrum line.
Right.
And if you have the flattest response that you can get in your room, then you at least know that it sounds like what it is supposed to sound like, and like that's the sound of what it actually is. The best way you can make it in your room.
Right. Okay.
So the trade-off with the ARC is that it reduces the volume of your output pretty significantly, because it's going to use 6 decibels of correction in areas where it's 6 decibels too loud. Well, it's got to knock everything else down, you know. So it's got to knock that down, and everything else gets knocked down along with that, essentially.
Right.
So
there is a balancing act there where if you use it, it will bring it down a few decibels.
There is indeed, and there's also a customizable filter that allows you to contract the frequency response spectrum so that, especially on the low end, if you require less correction, you can then recover a lot more volume as compared to without the software running. So instead of that 6 or 8 decibels of cut, it's only like half that or less. Because the low end is really probably mostly where it's going to have to cut to get to a volume level that has flatness in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you want to be flat, you guys, like whenever you're listening to these
I know this is crazy.
songs, but it's kind of like in video when you want to, you know, you're picking what style, you know, video you're going to shoot. You know, are you going to shoot in a cinematic style? Or are you going to shoot in like an already saturated, like pre-done style that you can't fix?
Are you going old-timey, sepia?
Are you going raw with it?
Or
you know?
You want it to look like it's from the Old West?
You want it to be kind of flat looking when you shoot it so that you can up the colors where you want them to, you know, or
if you're going in post, or if you're doing like we're doing, it's kind of the opposite, where you want everything to be there because we're streaming it out.
Right. So. Since we're bringing it to you right now, we're giving you different looks already with color and everything like that. You got to do that.
You got to go ahead and
otherwise it just looks bland.
You got to grade it right there and then and there, right out of the camera.
Right out of the camera. So this ARC software makes it to where he can mix things and hit at a nice level, right? And you can change things from there. Like you understand a reference of where the audio is coming from.
Yeah, going forward, the plan is to turn on the ARC whenever I'm mixing. And when I'm not mixing, I don't know if I'm really willing to concede 6 or 8 decibels of the headroom in the situation just to get flatness. So I'll probably honestly turn the ARC off for general listening or even like production.
Right.
You know, you've already produced with the plugs in, and honestly, the speakers certainly would have gone a lot louder without the plugs. They even clipped whenever. The interesting thing is because they have a digital clipping sensor, that they will clip whenever the output is overloading. In other words, whenever the mix is too hot and the master bus is clipping, they will turn that clip light on, and distortion will start to happen.
Oh wow!
Because their AD filter is being overloaded. It's too loud because I have them at 0.
Right.
If I knocked down to -4, I could knock down that headroom for the AD converter again, but then I would have even less volume.
Right.
You know, so at some point you just have to concede and just don't mix hot mixes that are clipping.
Right.
Because that is going to clip your digital input as well.
That is the no zone. You know?
That's the no zone. Do not clip your
clipping
output.
is bad. Okay, even if you're not an audiophile, clipping. You should know about clipping.
Clipping,
okay.
Yeah, that's that shit. Whenever like it starts to be really blary and bad stuff that is burnt in forever into your beautiful wedding film that you've created for these lovely people.
When somebody yells directly into a microphone and it goes, and it turns into this like digital noise.
It does.
This is a problem.
Yeah, that's something that actually cannot be recovered and is a permanent fixture in your work at that moment. So
exactly.
That is what you want to avoid, and that's why you turn your preamps a little lower than really would be great to have them, just for a safe zone. So,
but you don't want it to be like our stream the other week where like they couldn't hear us talk over the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Although the
Yeah.
soundtrack was the most important thing.
It was
for them to hear it.
Yeah, but this week we have a fix for that because
Yeah.
I have mixing station running here.
Bada boom.
So now channel 17 is on a slider, right?
Right.
So
now he has a phone that he can remotely control things with, a lot like my iPad situation. And you also have the MacBook Air, right? Which we'll be talking about in future streams. Of course, the MacBook Air being able to control all this stuff remotely.
yeah, the MacBook Air.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, so this time we are going to be able to control the levels from the other room, and it'll be amazing.
Yeah, so if you want to gimbal me, or no, I can just show this camera here.
Okay.
So this is mixing station. Let me see, I can probably brighten this up some so the camera can see.
Could put you.
This is the
on in.
mixing station app.
There you go.
It's actually not the Behringer app, it's a third-party deal, and it's basically got all the functionality of it.
Put it in front of your eyeballs, because I think you
Yeah,
get eye tracked.
it's on me. Sorry.
Yeah,
guys.
there we go. See, now it's focused on it.
This is it. It's mixing station. It's nothing special. It just looks kind of like a digital version of the console. But the thing that happens with it is that when I move, it moves the.
Oh, I need to show them this.
Yeah, this is
actual ghost.
Are we
technology.
still quad? No, we're not quad. So you have to put the quad back.
Yeah, quad.
See,
God.
Master Phil. Oh, can they even see that? Well, now they couldn't. Yeah, they couldn't see his heroics, but he's got two things in his hands. So he had to touch one thing with the other thing while filming with one of those things. And to get the quad view that you folks are privileged to now enjoy in your lives. You're welcome, YouTube. You're welcome, Internet. You're welcome, reality.
It's a juggling act, you guys.
It's a juggling act, and he's the jester of the year.
But we're talking about real ghost technology here.
So basically, you can see the slider. I'm moving the slider in the software, and the slider is moving in the alternate reality that is Infinity times Infinity Studios.
Yeah, what it does is it tells the ghost that's standing right there to push the first fader up.
So now that you have these music pieces in your stream, for example, I can lift the levels of that, and you hear the music in the stream. I mean, some might not call it music, so apologies if you're an electronic music hater, like we may have encountered in the past here, but that's what we're going to do this week, so that we turn that microphone on and off in there, rather than it being kind of an issue. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Let's do this then.
Let's do that.
Okay, we're running to the other side.
Okay.
Do we have a microphone set up and everything?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
They can't hear us now, really.
Yeah.
That was interesting what they're doing. Actually, they won't hear you.
It's a dynamic situation.
Yeah. A dynamic mic with a dynamic situation. So, here is the dynamic mic, and I'm thinking that we probably had these up a little higher. So we'll probably do that at some point. Let's see, the quad view they have in here is right here, so that probably should be fine. It's just I'm cut off in that, so I probably should go back to 2 again like last time.
Okay.
Alright.
Go to like a picture-in-picture show.
Yeah, we might do that later, but first we want to establish with the quad, right?
Yeah.
See, I'm learning from Master Phil, everybody. Alright, so you no longer hold the heaven in your hands. I apologize for that. But, oh, here, look, they can't hear me. Watch this. Oh, now you can hear me. Hello, everybody.
He done did that.
So apologies for having attempted to talk before without having done what I was supposed to here. But Now this mic should be plenty hot. It's touchy control. It's touchy control on the phone. Okay, so anyway, there's mic 17 with a good fat level. Hey, that's cool. Look, you can see the levels popping.
Oh yeah.
That way, each of the 3 mics that we have. See, here's the level popping for this microphone. So I know that it's still in the green. Once we get into yellows, that's when it's really bad. See the yellows? Uh-oh, we're too loud. So then we back off a little bit or do whatever needs to be done, right? So, yay.
All right.
Progress is being made. All right? You're welcome, Internet. You're welcome for configuring the shit out of Infinity Times Infinity Studios in order to bring you what you're about to witness today.
Right. So,
to start off this beautiful bonanza of flavors to your ear holes, we have something that is actually familiar to you. Because royalty-free music can include songs that are older than, I think, 75 years old or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those. So check this out. See if you recognize it. Or if you can read, maybe you already can. Cool. So, I'm going to turn this mic down. And what we have here are the HEDD Type 07 Mark II. Alright, and now we'll check out the MTMs. All this is being done with no arc on yet. Okay, now back to the heads. Yeah, it is now. I unmuted with this button.
Oh. Air on a G string. That was Artlist Air on a G string. I have the license for that, so.
Yeah, we may not have mentioned, but we're using Artlist for this. It's a royalty-free music site that you can become a member of by signing up online. Artlist.io, I believe, is their website. So now the second song you have is acoustic and vocal, and you have both the female and male. So check this out. First, the heads once again.
Push me out to sea, baby. There's nothing left for you to do. We did our best with our love, baby, but it brought us down so low. And
now to the MTMs.
without me. I was up on a beach one morning, strange shell lying on the shore. You put me to your ear and I'll whisper, what today I just can't say. Then you throw me back into the water and forget you ever found me.
And now back to the heads.
And forget you ever lost me. Push me out to sea, baby. It's the best thing for us both. I'll be happy out there, baby. Fish below and stars above. And you'll be happier without me.
Now back to the MTMs.
You'll be happier. You'll be happier.
And one last time back to the heads.
You'll be happier. You'll be happier. And you'll be happier without me.
Okay, I think this is another one that's essentially acoustic, so it's a familiar sound that you all should be aware of. Probably not a song you're familiar with, though. Again, this is a request of a demonstration for some acoustic music with some dynamic range, starting out quiet here. So here's the heads first.
All my years on the run, chasing hell, drinking devil's blood. I never caught a fire that could ever slow me down.
Now the MTMs.
Even fighting in the war, dodging lead, breaching rival doors. I never took no heat that could ever strike me down. Oh, when I come home, glory, hallelujah. Oh, your love had a way of knocking me on down. All my days in the woods,
Okay, now let's go back to the heads here.
just a blade and a point to prove. I never picked a fight that could ever put me down. Oh, but when I come home, glory, hallelujah. Oh, your love had a way of knocking me on down.
Okay, now let's let's go to the MTMs during the louder part. And now to the heads.
Every night held by you. Every time I cry and sing the blues, nothing else I'd rather do than be helpless in your arms.
Okay, so we haven't mentioned this before, but these things have been volume leveled. Took me quite a while to get them right at the same level, so that's another thing about this. It's a comparison between two A and B sets of studio monitors, so you want them to be almost exactly the same level, or something called the Fletcher-Munson effect comes in, at which point you don't really know what you're hearing, because whatever's louder sounds better. Okay, now female vocal and acoustic. And now first the MTMs.
Under a canvas of blue, I would draw ever nearer to you. To feel the dew on your skin, that is how it would begin. For summer is for falling
So when you were talking, you were
in love.
Okay, now let's go to the heads here.
Until the sun sets past 8, and the cotton candy haze mirrors the warmth of your gaze. Raise your glass to mine, and as we drink, we would lock eyes, so we could disregard the thought of ever having to part. For summer is for falling in love.
Okay, now let's go to the MTMs on a similar part. Now back to the heads.
This lightness of being, we both know to be fleeting, like the last breath of a sunset right before the day is dead. But maybe the heat of today could keep even winter away. So I'll remember your laugh, 'cause nothing ever changes the fact that summer is for falling in love. Da-dun-dun-dun-dun. Summer is for falling in love.
Oh, so nice. And that was the heads to finish out. Now this next one is something more cinematically orchestral. So starting out this time with the heads. now to the MTMs.
That's it.
Yeah, so that's the symphonic one. Now, this final one is now the passes that we're doing here without the the room correction software. So
yeah, this is the last one we're gonna do.
Then we'll do some with the room correction software on, so that you can observe whatever more similarities might happen as a result of them both being flattened. Okay, so here first will be the heads. MTMs. Cool. So yeah, there's the MTMs, and there's the heads with this. Now this is more ambient stuff. This is actually not part of what we selected for this list, so we'll just give you a short comparison to this here, and then we'll go through the ones along with the room correction software enabled. Yeah, so here you go. Here's the heads here for a minute. All right, cool. So you get the idea on that stuff there. So the second topic of this stream was, again, the use of room correction software to flatten the frequency response. Because, of course, with the DSPs that these speakers have in them, the phase is already essentially being flattened. But I believe that room correction software does essentially deal with both phase and frequency response to some degree. But at any rate, it seems to work well for both the MTMs and the heads. So we'll give you a little taste of what that's like, and also show you this graph that has to do with the frequency response both before and after for each set of speakers. So let's start out checking out so that there is your frequency response graph for the head Type 07 Mark IIs. And the green lines are the before, and the orange ones are the after. So, I don't know if they can see that in quad.
I can put it into the program.
You think we should?
Yeah. If you guys can see this, I'll just put this. Yeah. See.
Cool. So that right there that you are all witnessing is the frequency response. So as you can see, the head DSP is already doing a good job of flattening everything. It looks like it's doing it in chunks. And one of the chunks, the one from about 55 to 150 hertz, has a huge peak in it, almost 6 decibels it appears that it's going up. And that's probably in large part due to the size and shape of the objects that they're on and the desk interfering with them. So the desk filter may have mitigated that to some degree, but in addition, when you run this ARC software, as you can see, it goes from a 6 decibel hump there to more or less flat through that 50 to 150 range. So that's a pretty huge difference, and that's definitely going to be something you can hear. However, as is normally the case with this test, since you're listening through your speakers, and it's also being mic'd and everything, so it's going through preamps and mic coloration, you may not really be able to tell that much difference. But we're going to give you a little taste anyway, and test it so that we can hear it for ourselves as well as you can hear it out there in internet world. So let's go ahead and engage the ARC. Again, we'll have to turn up the volume louder because it turns down so that everything can be leveled the same way. So that's heads on custom one. Another cool thing, is it still in program? It's back in the quad, right? Cool. So yeah, that's all we really need to see it. You can probably see that an RTA EQ is down in there as well now. So it's kind of cool how it shows you, the momentary frequency response of the material that you have playing through it. So there you go. That's with the heads with a custom filter engaged, such that it doesn't really do much under about 30 hertz, it appears. And I'll now put it on completely flat. So it's pretty quiet program material. We didn't really hear any difference, but if we were listening to something loud, we probably would have heard an additional volume reduction right at that moment. So that's all beside the point. Now let's check what the sound sounds like with all this stuff happening. Oh, I see what happened. It doesn't trim it down since I started on flat. So, yeah, it's a little nuance in the software, but I'll trim it down so it's good. So that right there is basically what it would have turned it down to if we had started out in flat. So it's quite a lot lower in volume. I guess you can't tell because I've turned it down so low to begin with, but Yeah, take my word for it that it's lowering the volume, and if that's something that's a deal breaker for you, you might want to check into how to mitigate that with these custom filters. So now let's check out that Bach tune from before, Air on a G string, along with the filter engaged, and then we'll take a short break to switch it up and put the filter on for the MTMs and hear them, and then back to the heads as well. Back and forth in the testing manner for all these tracks, along with the room correction software engaged. Okay, so again, that's the head with the filter, the room correction engaged. Now we'll switch to the room correction algorithm for the MTMs and switch over to them as well. Okay, now for the final part, we'll go back to the heads along with that filter, so give me 1 second here. Cool. So the frequency response for the other speakers we'll talk about afterward as well. For now, we'll turn it back up along with the arc on flat with the heads.
It's the best thing for us both. I'll be happy out there, baby. Fish below and stars above. And you'll be happier without me. Push me out to sea, baby. There's nothing left for you to do. We did our best with our love, baby, but it brought us down so low. And you'll be happier without me.
Looks like I forgot to mute, so now I'll change it to the MTMs on flat and room correction.
One morning, strange shell lying on the shore. You put me to your ear and I'll whisper, what today I just can't say. Then you throw me back into the water and forget you ever found me, and forget you ever lost me. Push me out to sea, baby. It's the best thing for us.
Cool. So there's your taste of the flavor of those two singing again with some acoustic stuff. Now, in the interest of time, since we've got about 10 minutes left here on the hour, what we're going to do is listen to the symphonic one again, so we have plenty of dynamic range and instrumentation you're familiar with. Then we'll go talk about what we heard and piece it out. Starting this time with the MTMs. Okay, now we'll switch to the heads. Okay, now I'm going to switch it back to the MTMs after that room correction engaged. Cool, so that one's a pretty quick one. I guess it's time for our conclusions. So, shall we re-enter our original places?
Yes.
All right, let's do that. Cool.
Oh, did you put it back on dim over here? You probably don't want it to keep playing through the art. Like
I'm gonna turn it down. I've got that all in my head still.
Oh yeah, that's right. Remote.
Yeah, we were concerned because I was over there and he was like, "Hey, did you turn it down yet?" So, yeah, here's me turning it down, and here's me turning it down. Hey, pretty cool, huh? All right. Maybe no one thinks this is as cool as I do. So there you go, guys. That is about as thorough as you'll ever find any live stream comparing anything.
Yeah.
And if you're not satisfied with that, then you might want to check someone else's stream out, because that's not any worse than about the best we'll ever do here. So
Yeah, so if you're just watching this stream, like there's the other 3 streams that you can watch before this. We've covered a lot on the HEDD Type 07 Mark IIs.
Yeah, man, it's been a journey. Thank you for all of you who've been a part of that journey with us. We started out by swapping out the KRK VXT6s. Then we did an actual listening in the second one. And the third one, we had the closed ports happening and gave you a little taste of that. And now in this one, we've given you essentially some program material that you're after so that you can perceive whatever transient response differences your speakers are capable of reproducing as you check this video out in YouTube land / Twitch land. So for all of you who check it out on YouTube, go check it out on Twitch. For all of you who check it out on Twitch, go check it out on YouTube.
Yep.
Please like and subscribe. I think in terms of my own conclusions after having done all this, I would probably say mostly that when you engage the room correction software, when you switch between them, it sounds a lot more similar. So a flat frequency response must be a real thing because it must be moving them closer to a flat frequency response if they sound more similar when you switch back and forth between them.
Yeah, for sure.
So I do really like the idea of a flat frequency response because I am mixing stuff and studio monitor critical listening. So
okay, let's talk about price here. How much are the HEDD Type 07 Mark IIs?
$1 million
Hopefully not.
Canadian, which is $3.50 American. Right, Casey? I see you, camera conspiracies. And that's our weekly camera conspiracies reference. So these things are, I believe they're $8.99 a piece.
$8.99 a piece.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So they are a serious investment.
Right.
Atom A7Xs, I think, are $7.50 a piece.
Right.
So basically, for $150, you get closed port capabilities.
Yeah.
You get DSP in the speakers.
Right.
You have your linearizer built in, a phase
Nice.
linearizer switch.
Yeah.
You have Klaus Heinz's newest AMT tweeter design.
You have the mad scientist behind everything, obviously.
And you have some high-quality German-engineered product.
Right.
So if all of those things appeal to you, in addition to the things that are appealing about the Atom A7Xs, this may be the speaker for you.
Right.
As a representative who is not affiliated or compensated in any way by
Not
HEDD,
sponsored.
I can say from my own personal opinion that these things are good. Now, you know, that's an opinion that isn't being paid, so that might be compared to someone's opinion who is being paid.
Yeah, and we've been doing this for 4 weeks now. Like, basically...
Yeah, man. It's been a journey, so, you know, it's continually evolving here in Infinity Times Infinity Studios. We are on that quest to sonic bliss. Audio and video nirvana is what we're after here.
Yeah, we're bringing together the two worlds, the dimensions that matter when broadcasting and live streaming, right?
Yeah, Marvel versus Capcom.
Right, the multiverse.
I mean, DC versus Marvel. I mean, yeah, the real universe versus the Infinity Times Infinity verse.
Batman versus Superman.
Right?
Batman versus Iron Man.
Godzilla versus King Kong.
Godzilla versus the kaiju, you know,
Yeah,
from
man.
Pacific Rim.
Yep. So obviously we're tired. We're saying a bunch of dumb shit. So
It's late, so
check it out. We love you.
yeah.
Thank you for being a part of our stream.
Go to
You're awesome.
infinitytimesinfinitystudios.com. You will see all sorts of tracks on there that Dan has worked hard on over the years.
Yep, we've got artists, we've got tracks, we've got a website. There's Master Phil's Media as well.
Right. Which is videography. Anything. And if you guys have any questions, you know, just leave them in the comments. We will get to them for sure.
Yeah, we also have contact information on the website, so feel free to click on that as well.
Yep.
And until next time, when we discuss things like how we got the audio over there from this mixer into that stuff to do this test with,
Right.
we will bid you adieu.
I do.